Welcome to another episode of the Good Guys Podcast. My name is Brandon Dixon. I am a humble father of four and a happily married man. And as usual, I am here with the Honorable, the Reverend, the Bishop.
Hold up now. The Apostle.
Minister.
The Prophet. No, I'm joking. Just
Life Coach.
Just call me Coach.
Philanthropist.
Yep.
I may have made that last one up. Joshua Ezzy.
One and only.
Unplugged worldwide. Joshua Ezzy, are you ready for the podcast today?
Man, born ready, man. I've been waiting all week for this moment right here, brother.
Hey, we've got a great show for the people. We've got a lot of topics, some really good debates that we're going to get into today on the podcast.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm excited. I'm ready to get into it.
Let's get into it, brother.
First thing I do want to talk about.
Okay.
Just really quick.
Mm-hmm.
So just want to make sure, because, you know, we post the videos on YouTube, and I know both of us, we check the comments. We try to get in there with you guys and talk to you guys in the comments and things like that. But just wanted to make sure people understand, Josh, the purpose of this podcast.
Let them know, brother. What's the purpose, brother?
So it's not, so if you're coming to the podcast, well, let me say this. We make this podcast so that people will have something that they can just enjoy casually, you know, something that you can laugh at on your way to work. There's not a lot of outlets, I feel like, as a Christian, where you can go to get a good laugh. Like the Bible says, laughter doeth good like a medicine. And I think sometimes it's hard to find content that we can enjoy and laugh at that's not vulgar or, you know what I mean? Those
Exactly.
Things that you believe in.
Exactly.
So that's kind of what we're trying to provide with this podcast. Not to say that you shouldn't take anything serious that we talk about, because there is going to be some truth in the things that we say.
Oh, yeah.
However, it's kind of not to be taken as doctrine. Like,
Nah, man. Like this is just my, BD and I's. We've been doing this for 13 some years, man. We've said some of the greatest content that's never been heard. And so our objective is just to provide you guys with a great platform for you guys just to relax, man. In a podcast world, there's not that many outlets out there, or for the clean at heart, or those that is endeavoring to have a clear conscience, especially those who follow God. So, all of this is satire. All of this is just, there's going to be some substance in there. But please understand our hearts that, we just want to give y'all guys something that you can laugh at, enjoy, outside of the context of a sermon. You know what I'm saying? So,
right. And that's what the point that I kind of want to get across. Like, this is not one of Josh's sermons. Like, when you have a sermon, and I'm not a minister, but I'm going to assume that, Josh, when you prepare a sermon, you're preparing what you're going to say, the topics that you're going to hit, when you're going to hit certain topics, right?
Yeah.
So this is not a sermon. This is a free-flowing conversation. So there's going to be times when we're on the topic. For example, last week we talked about men and women and the importance of video games. Again, just a lighthearted topic that was kind of meant to be funny. But, we went on for a while before we actually got around to, hey, in all seriousness,
yeah. Sorry about
that. You shouldn't be playing video games if you're not handling your responsibilities as a man. So wanted to make sure that I make that point clear. Okay, because some of you may not have listened to the whole podcast and got to that part. I don't want anybody to get it misconstrued. If you are not handling your responsibility as a man, you should not be playing video games. I am a father of four. I'm happily married. My bills are taken care of. Right? You know what I'm saying? I got a job. My wife don't have to work. She doesn't work. You know what I'm saying? So we good. So I can play video, and I don't even play video games during the week. I play them on the weekend. But that's that communication piece that we were talking about. That
there was a lot of people will say, well, that's a childish thing, that when men grow, when we grow as believers, we should put away childish things. Let me tell you something, ladies. No matter what man you marry, he's gonna pull out a childish thing. It doesn't matter if he's a good God-fearing man. There's gonna be some kind of outlet that was birthed in his life at a child, at his young age as a child that that really makes him feel comfortable, makes him feel like he can escape. And just like women have those things too. They may not be as goofy and as childish or as competitive as guys, but it's still our outlet. And like I gave a comment to one commenter, I said, your kids are going to play video games one day. And just to have that mindset of, I'm just going to completely remove this. This is a childish thing. My husband will never play this. Chances are, when you move into his home, right up under that DVR, right up under that big, thick Bible, it's going to be a PS4. It's going to be an Xbox. It's going to be a Wii. It's going to be something. So,
and like you said, it might not be video games. So don't get caught up on the video game piece. Like I said, that was, to be lighthearted and funny, but it is going to be something. Like you said, we are men are the biggest kids you'll ever see. So no matter what kind of front he put up while y'all dating, when you get to moving in that house, you're going to see he's a kid just like all of us. So it might not be video games. It's going to be something, and he's going to need that
golf.
time.
It's probably going to be golf. That's
right.
why the older a man gets, the more prestige his toys become. That's all it is.
Right.
His toys become a little, it's not little, Legos, it's golf now. But either way, the whole principle behind the satire was balance.
Exactly.
Just giving you guys some input on how men process things, and we chose video games for a reason. And thank you guys for the conversation.
Absolutely. We don't want to harp on it too long. Just wanted to clear it up, make sure people understand. Hey, don't come to the podcast looking to be inspired. For
you're gonna laugh, and we might inspire you. There may be some, treasure in our tangents.
Right, and that's true. And Josh has his motivational moment at the end of every podcast. We're going to figure out a way. I don't know if you know how to do it, Josh, but how we can put how some podcasts have the hyperlink at the bottom with the time frame that portion of the podcast starts.
Yeah.
We're going to do that. So if you want inspiration from this podcast, we will put that in the comments, the description
last 5
for
minutes.
the last 5 minutes of the podcast. All right, we're going to move on.
Yeah.
So we're going to go ahead and get into the weekly airing of grievances.
Okay.
And this week, I have something it's a news story that I saw, and I thought it was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
So, you're familiar with Waffle House?
Oh man, top 5 restaurants, dead or alive.
That's another conversation to be had, is the importance of Waffle House.
Yeah.
But we might not get into that today.
I understand.
So, in this particular story, there was a Caucasian male. And that's important.
Good. Mm-hmm.
There's a Caucasian male. I think it was about 2 or 3 in the morning.
Okay.
He's inebriated.
Yeah.
There was alcohol involved.
Mm-hmm.
So he decides, hey, I can't sleep. I'm drunk. I'm going to go to Waffle House. It's a good call. Waffle House is open 24/7.
Smart man.
Hey, can't blame him.
I don't blame him at all.
So he goes to Waffle House. There's only one employee there.
Oh, man.
That employee is asleep.
Hmm.
So what do you think this guy did, Josh?
Oh, I've seen the story, man.
You've seen the story? Okay. So, as you're aware, and the people may not be, I don't know if you guys heard the story or not, he literally goes into the kitchen, makes himself a patty melt with the hash.
Smart brother.
Enjoys his meal and leaves.
Wow.
And I'm not sure how I feel about that, Josh.
Man, I know how I feel about it.
How does that make you feel? How do you feel about that? What do you think?
That man's an opportunist. That man said, you know what? I get the opportunity to make whatever I want to make.
That's I don't know. It's like a kid in a candy store, but it's like an adult version. Imagine
brother,
going into Waffle House.
Do you know how many waffles I would have made?
You know what I mean? If all he made was a patty melt? Do you know how many waffles?
That's where I draw the line. I'm like, bruh, out of all the stuff you could have made, you made yourself, and that's why if he was a brother, a brother would have said, you know what? man. How many griddles do they have?
They've got minimum 3 or 4 griddles at any given time.
Bruh, I would have grabbed that little waffle batter bowl at the bottom that they have.
It's a wrap.
Slap me about 3 or 4 waffles, bruh. I would even set my table like I was in a court. I'll put my fork. I'll lay the napkin out first. I'll actually clean the fork. I actually clean the fork, bruh. Bruh, you talk. I might even pull some candles out, bruh.
I mean, like, if you're gonna go in, you know what I'm saying? Okay, the normal person, maybe the sober person, probably walks in, sees the employee asleep, either taps them, says, "Hey,
he
like
wasn't drunk,
maybe I'd like some service," or they turn around and go to a different restaurant. But hey, if you're gonna do it, you better do it.
Go big or go home, bruh.
Go big or go home. No, I'd have 4 or 5 waffles stacked in a to-go box,
bruh. Not even in bruh. Because listen, yep, I would have put my waffle in the to-go box, but I wouldn't use that little pack syrup they give you one. That's why I don't like. One thing about Waffle House, bruh, I don't do their to-go. I eat waffle up there.
You gotta get the hot syrup.
You got to get the hot syrup, bro. Most people I'm like, you ordered Waffle House to go? By the time you get home, the waffle has lost its potency. The waffle has lost its anointing.
Well, it's soggy by the time you get home.
It's soggy, bro. You need a waffle fresh off the griddle. That's why I'm like, bro, do not cook my waffle at the same time you cook my sausage, eggs, or grits. Don't. Give me my waffle last.
I feel some Joshua Ezzy wisdom coming.
Listen, ladies and gentlemen, if they give you your waffle first, tell them I want a fresh waffle. Don't even give me my waffle until you see my first plate done. Now, Waffle House, period, they don't even give you your whole food at the same time. They give your eggs separately than your bacon sometimes. One time they gave me just my grits and eggs. I'm like, bruh, I'm a regular here. Don't you know I mix all of my foods together? I don't believe in segregation of my food, bruh.
Strategy involved here.
There's strategy, bruh. Don't you? Now, you got a weird strategy. You cut you. You could tell he had a mom growing up who was there, didn't have a job. This man cuts his waffles in perfect triangles.
Look, there's nothing wrong with cutting your waffle into eighths. There's nothing wrong.
I'm like, bruh, I don't need no perfect. When I grew up in an era where you had to be a savage, bro. You don't even know how to take your waffle, bro. You had such a peaceful home, bro. You knew nobody was coming for your waffle. Me, bro, I don't think I've ever used a fork. I don't think I ever used a knife growing up, bro.
Every time we go to Waffle House, you are like 3/4 done with your plate by the time I finish prepping mine.
I'm like, bro, what you prepping for, bro? Stop prepping for they think we're on a date, bro. eat your waffle house like a man, bro. This man over here got napkins on his lap, napkins tucked in his collar. Dude over here got using both hands. Who used both hands eating at Waffle House? You use your fork. The fork is the universal utensil. For those who grew up in poverty, bro.
The fork is but one utensil.
It's but one.
But one. You must use the fork. You need the knife to, you know what I'm saying? You have the knife in your left hand. You have the fork in your right hand.
No,
okay.
Bruh.
You cut the waffle.
I don't think I ever use my left hand, bro. Except if I'm eating a sandwich, and even then, I don't use my left hand, bro. Why you ambidextric eater? You using both hands? Please comment below if you use both hands when eating. I'm talking about just you eating at Waffle House. This guy, I'm like, bro, we are not at IHOP or Denny's, bro. We are not this is Waffle House.
What's wrong with using all of your available silverware and cutlery at Waffle House?
It minimizes on how much dirt you put in your body because they don't wash their utensils, bro.
Well, that's true. But that's part of the Waffle House experience.
This guy right here probably looked back at the article. When he got home, he was probably upset with himself that he didn't get no waffles. You created a patty melt? Bruh.
That's pretty depressing.
Man, bruh, I would have called the homeboys over. I'm like, bruh, what y'all want?
Right. Yo, we eating.
Because this man
through.
Pull up.
Through.
Pull up. I got one on the griddle right now for you, man. But at the end of the day, bro, I got
you would have thought it was your spot.
You thought, bro, I would have put that thing on Facebook, Instagram, come through. I'm on the grill.
I'm on the griddle at Waffle on North Tryon.
Boy, bro, they would have did an article on me. Food Network would have called me in like, bro, this dude done created the best waffle concoction of all time. Have you ever had a stuffed waffle? A stuffed waffle?
Man.
Bruh, imagine having the power of that batter, bro.
Having all that at your disposal.
And you don't got to worry about them. But man, bruh, I would have, all that stuff they tell you know about, like, I don't do pork like that, man. So I'd be like, can I substitute the meat on the All-Star for a chicken breast? They always tell me no. Bruh, I would have put like 3 chicken breasts on that grill, bruh.
Whew. That's a once in a lifetime opportunity. And
because you might get shot at your local Waffle House. So those people seem like they're 2 or 3 weeks out of the penitentiary.
That's very true.
Like they just got out of jail. And it's the only job they can get is at Waffle House.
If you're working, let me not say that. That's probably mean.
Oh,
if you're working at Waffle House at 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning, that's probably, that might be the only job he had available.
Yeah, man. But this guy, waste of time, waste of airspace, because every black person or minority or even white person who understands the beauty of Waffle House was like, this guy did it wrong.
He did it wrong. That's the main thing. You
walked out of a Waffle House without a waffle?
It's Waffle House. That's what it's in the name.
So I bet you his patty melt was made perfect too.
It probably was.
It probably was made he cut it in half. Probably had a little pickle on the side, bro. I don't know where he got the pickle. But he probably
I've never seen a pickle at Waffle House.
Listen, man, honestly, bro, Waffle House is the best breakfast spot outside of the mom's kitchen, man.
It is. Don't come to me with your IHOPs. Don't come to me with your Denny's. It's Waffle House.
Y'all just don't want to be honest with yourselves, man.
Yes, there may be some unknown foreign particles on your cutlery, but it's all a part of the experience.
Listen, man. Listen, bro. It builds your immune system going to Waffle House.
Like flavor.
Waffle House, bro. That's extra flavor, bro. They don't wash those pots. You got extra ingredients in your omelet. You didn't even know.
Stop being bougie and go to Waffle House.
Man, everybody want to go to IHOP and Denny's, bro. Man, let me tell you something. Let me tell the people this right now. Out of all my years, Waffle House has never failed me.
Ever.
I can count on multiple hands. I could borrow other people's hands on how many times Denny's and IHOP have failed me. Waffle House, never. And I'm telling you, how all these IHOP people, all these people probably had more schooling than these people at Waffle House. And these Waffle House managed to cook my food perfectly.
For the people.
Yeah, man.
Go to Waffle House.
That's probably Waffle House in heaven, bro.
For the culture. Go to Waffle House. Get your double waffle.
I might even go after this. Now that we talking.
All right, enough about Waffle House.
Yeah, man.
And that guy who did it wrong. All right, next thing we're going to talk about is a debate for the ages. A debate that you and I have had several times.
You're going to lose again. You're going to lose again.
Because it's clear cut. All
okay,
right.
Let's get in this, bro. Hurry up, man.
All right, so check it out. Me and Josh have had a debate for the longest on who is the better gospel artist. Kirk Franklin.
Of course. You said it first.
Hammond.
You said who? Oh, Fred Hammond? Bruh. Kirk, the GOAT Franklin. That's it. We're talking about hits, bro. Man, Kirk Franklin. I don't even know if Fred Hammond can even hold a concert by himself. That's how. I don't think Fred Hammond have enough hits to have a 25-minute set, bro.
He does have enough hits by himself, and then he can pull out. Minutes. He could pull out the rest. He could pull out the rest of commissioned, and they can all come out there.
Bro, ain't nobody under 35 listening to Fred Hammond, bro.
Under there, that's not true. That's not
Only
true.
you listen to Fred Hammond. Like, bruh, I can't even name No Weapon is the only hit.
No Weapon is the greatest gospel song
It didn't
of
age
our
well.
generation.
It didn't age. See, Kirk Franklin's songs age well.
No,
Fred Hammond's songs do not age well, bruh.
Yes, they do. Anytime, what's Fred Hammond's music,
bruh,
is for when you're going through the struggles of life.
Yes, Fred had plenty struggles, bruh. Struggling to try to be good as Kirk. that was his struggle.
Struggling to be as good
Listen,
as Kirk.
let me tell you something, bruh. Name one song of Fred that can trump Stomp.
Well, I mean, what?
Let's see what I'm saying.
Well, he's a different. He's a different type of artist. Like, he doesn't have a stomp.
How does Fred Hammond get beat by a person who can't sing?
And therein is the crux of my argument.
Man.
Okay, Kirk Franklin can't sing,
bruh, but that man can entertain. That's the people don't care about substance of voice; they care about production. Fred Hammond's music is for a church that's dying off.
No, it's not.
Kirk Franklin is a pioneer, bruh. That's what made Kirk Franklin great. Kirk Franklin opened more doors for other artists than Fred Hammond probably ever could even think of doing.
This is true.
That's what I'm saying. We talking about full package in regards to artists.
Look,
Fred Hammond, bro, I understand, bro. Your mom didn't want you to hear Stomp growing up. I understand that your mom wanted to keep your house very wholesome, and she didn't know what to think about Stomp and Can I Get a Revolution? I understand, bro. She wanted everything to be reformed, and
this is true.
She didn't want a revolution, bro.
I was not allowed to listen to any kind of secular music in my childhood in our house, and I was barely allowed to listen to Kirk Franklin because.
And your mom was like. Featuring Bono, featuring R. Kelly. Oh no!
Oh no!
Boy, I'm telling you, man. Like, bro.
And it was that Fred Hammond came through.
That's all you.
Like
had,
a voice
bro.
in the wilderness.
That's the only
like
voice out there.
Melody.
That's the only voice your mom allowed into your life.
You know what? You know why you don't.
When she saw them hips gyrating in that Stomp video with Salt. Salt and pepper. She was like, not my son, but Kirk. Hit after hit after hit. I don't even know why this is a segment, bro. Like you're really embarrassing yourself amongst the people.
No, I'm not. Pages of Life, chapters 1 and 2, is the greatest collection of gospel music.
Listen. The fact that the Pages of Life, that sounds like I'm going to hear a symphony. The Pages,
and it was a symphony. It was a beautiful symphony.
No, it wasn't, man. Okay, who had the better backup singers?
You know why Kirk Franklin has the better backup singers? Because he can't sing.
He's a smart man. He knows how to delegate. Fred wanted all for himself.
Because he could do it all himself. He could actually sing.
Is Fred? When was the last time Fred Hammond put out a project?
This year.
Wow. Did y'all know that, people listening right now? Did y'all know Fred Hammond came out with something?
Look, I can't vouch for his current stuff. I just know that the classics.
What classics? He only has one classic, bruh.
No Weapon.
That's it.
You've got Your Steps Are Ordered.
Bruh, no.
Come on.
I mean, yeah, that was a good song, man, but like, come on, bruh.
You know why you don't care for Fred Hammond?
Why is that?
It's because you don't have kids.
What does that have to do with anything?
If you had kids, sometimes your kids just get on your nerves to the point where all you can say is, no weapon formed against me.
Bruh,
shall prosper.
You formed those weapons. You played a part in forming that. That's why.
Well, I formed them, and sometimes they be against me. So I have to bump some Fred Hammond.
Ain't nobody tell you to have 4 kids, bro. In 3 years. Nobody told you to have 4 kids in 3 years.
This is true, but
hey, man, listen.
Pages of Life.
Man, listen. I don't even know what I know of all Kirk Franklin's covers, album artwork. Kirk Franklin is the GOAT, bruh. Kirk Franklin was a pioneer, man. Kirk Franklin's music, man. Like Kirk Franklin can perform for 3 hours. That's how many hits he has. Fred Hammond, Kirk Franklin just bring him on the stage just for No Weapon, and that's it. Come on, man. How many people go to Fred Hammond's concert?
Well, it depends on what you want. If you're looking to worship, then
Do you know how many worshipers are before? Well, most of them got some feminine tendencies, but I digress.
Another conversation for another day.
That's another conversation another day. Yeah. Name one straight gospel artist. I'm just joking.
Don't do that.
No, I'm just joking. Anyway, bruh, do you know how many worshipers comes before? What's his name? Fred?
Who?
I don't know, man. Ever since I went to ORU, man, I've been switched over to, your Hillsongs.
Here you go.
But Kirk Franklin still, I mean, bruh, like Tasha's doing her thing, you know what I'm saying? Like the rest of them just too funny for me, bruh. They worship sounds. I can't worship God with like some homo type vibe music. You know how gospel music always got that same kind of happy worship.
Right.
I can't worship happy like that, bro.
Well, see, you didn't have that with Fred. You had straight, just crying out to the Lord in a man type of way. I don't know how to describe it.
Listen, man, I believe in greatness. I respect greatness. And the proof is in the production. Kirk Franklin is the GOAT. There's not one bad Kirk Franklin album. Which one?
Let me think.
Exactly. You have to think.
Well, the One Nation Crew album wasn't technically Kirk Franklin. Because I don't know about that one.
I mean, I understand that, but all the Kirk Franklin stuff, man, there's at least 3 or 4 hits on that album, bro.
You know what? I'm not taking away from Kirk Franklin as an artist. He was very important to Christian music. He definitely opened doors, paved the way for a lot of contemporary Christian music today.
Yeah.
Broke down a lot of walls and barriers of what people thought, gospel music could be.
Yeah.
Incorporated R&B and hip hop themes.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to give him credit for that.
And what did Fred do? Nothing.
Gave you some of the greatest.
Bruh, name.
Get on your knees.
Okay. Let me tell you. What?
And worship music.
Fred, there's not. No Weapon is the only song that, and that's when I had weapons aimed at me. But the rest of the songs, bruh, like I can't even name. You can't even name 5 Fred Hammond hits right now.
Yes, I can.
Name 5.
You've got No Weapon.
We said that like 50 times. No Weapon.
You said name 5.
Okay, number 2.
Your Steps Are Ordered.
Okay, those are only 2 hits.
Not true.
3rd.
You've got Just to Be Close to You.
Wasn't that like an interlude?
Just to be. Let me stop. I'm not gonna bust out.
Wasn't that an interlude? I don't even know there was a whole song. Okay.
Anyway,
Israel Houghton, bro, is better than Fred Hammond.
No.
The Alive in South. I mean, honestly, the only album I rock with Israel Houghton is Alive in South Africa. The other stuff I don't really, But
is that the first one?
I think he had a couple albums before that, but he's married like a super, what's it, Adrian
Balon.
What I'm saying in this, I'm not.
He wrong for that, but I'm not gonna get into that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm not gonna I'm just justifying when their music was anointed. That's what I'm saying. I don't condone all these people's actions. I'm not saying I condone Kirk. I don't know what Kirk Franklin. I'm just saying when I feel the anointing on the song, I'm like, that's when he was his closest to God. I don't know because I don't know personally.
Right.
That's why I just resonate with the body of work versus the individual per se. But I'm just saying, as far as the body of work of Kirk Franklin trumps the body of work of Fred Hammond.
You know what? I'm gonna give you that. I can't argue with that. He has a great body of work.
He got a great body of work. Like I feel like Fred was lazy, bro. I think Fred was talented enough to come out with more. I just think he grew up. I mean, there's a different lane of gospel. Like he's going to be revered forever in the gospel circles, right?
Right.
Kirk pioneered. He was ahead of his time. He was shunned from that people group, and then now he's accepted. I just think if Fred would have took a little bit more risk, like he probably wanted to, I think Fred would have came out with more music that I think would have resonated with us. Like, I think gospel music will always resonate for everyone 50 and up, right? Because they grew up on that. They didn't grow up in an era of diversity of music that we have now. So I think they're gonna always rock with Fred. But Fred didn't make nothing for us coming up. We was forced to listen to that. That's all we knew. No weapon play. That's all we knew because our parents sheltered us. Well, your mom even sheltered certain Christian music from you. Like, I was thankful when I got my what's that, Gospel Gangster CD?
Oh my goodness, Gospel Gangsters.
Now that's classic. Where are they now? They need to do a show on them because they opened my eyes, bro. They the ones freed me from Fred Hammond.
Like, that was like the first rap music that I was ever able to listen to. I bumped that CD relentlessly.
Bro, I bumped that thing, bro. Like, that thing wouldn't work, bro. It was done. Because we didn't have MP3s like y'all have.
No, not at all. Yeah, you couldn't just listen to secular music like you can today. Like, just download it on your phone. Like, the only way you were listening to secular music was either you were buying the hard copy CD or you were listening to it on the radio. Neither of which was an option for me growing up.
We had to be driven everywhere.
Exactly.
All I was listening to was Carlton Pearson, Benny Hinn's worship music. Fred.
Yo, I used to hate that CD, man.
Which one? The Benny Hinn one?
The Benny Hinn joint.
Yeah,
I'm trying to think of
that
this.
That was like a dual disc.
Yes, it just kept going. Like,
it kept going. Like, man, is this the whole? Like, do y'all have tracks? Or this just one? Is this the video downloaded in MP3?
Did it ever go to track 5 or 6 or 7? It just keeps going.
I was like, man, Benny, can we get some drums? Can we get some rhythm?
A little bass, a little.
Can I get a little bass? Can I get dun 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 dun? Can I get some of that?
Benny.
Man, Benny, give me some, bruh. Hey,
give me some hits, Benny.
Give me some hits, Benny. Man, I was in the car, man. My mom forcing me to worship God. I'm like, man, I can't worship to this.
Yo, I thought that was just me, man.
No, I'm like, why do moms try to force you to worship? I'm like, bro,
I thought that was just me. I'm like,
no, man.
Why am I being forced to worship right now? I don't know if that's how it works.
When I was a kid, I couldn't even go to church, just relax in the presence of God. My hands had to be lifted. If I didn't shout, I remember when my mom brought me to the altar. I think I was like 9 years old, and they was asking for the babes to learn how to speak in tongues. Man, my mom was eyeing me down while I'm like, man, look, I don't know what he's saying. Wait till I get to the age of understanding, Mom.
Right.
Got me over here, I had a cheat, man. No disrespect to the Holy Ghost, man, but my first time speaking in tongues, I faked that thing, man.
Yo, it's not. Oh man, this is an eye-opening conversation.
I
thought it was just me, man. I faked the mess out of that thing for a good 2-3 years.
Boy, I faked that thing until I was filled, bro.
Man, I was like, yo, I don't know what I just figured out English. Now you want me to talk this language?
Talk in tongues?
I don't know what you mean.
Why so much pressure, man? I'm like, parents put us through so much spiritual pressure, bro.
Man.
I'm like, man, can me and God have our own relationship? We don't want you in it. We don't want you in our relationship.
Wow. Shout out to parents. They do the best they can. I think they were doing the best they could.
They were doing, man.
But, yeah, man.
Kirk Franklin, man.
Fred Hammond.
Bruh, Kirk Franklin, man. I mean, I'm going to go download all his albums tonight because, bruh. But you got to admit, Kirk Franklin had better worship songs than Fred, bruh.
No, that's the one thing I will not give him over Fred. I think Fred's worship was better. It was deeper. It was more intimate. I think it was better.
Bro, I just couldn't respect his voice in worship, bro.
Why?
His voice just felt like it was hovering over me, bro. I felt like it just didn't feel right, bro. I don't want one man's voice singing to me, bro. I don't mind Kirk speaking to me because Kirk. And I didn't mind.
That's what it is.
That's what it is. Fred was just weird, bro. I felt like a pedophile worshiper, Doug.
Kirk had them mothers, the mothers of the church singing to you.
That's what I'm saying, man. I'm like, Fred wanted all the shine, bro. And I'm like, Fred, your voice singing to me for the whole album, bro. I feel uncomfortable, bro.
Sounds like a personal problem.
It was, bro. I didn't want no man talking to me, man, singing to me.
Wow,
bro. It just didn't feel right, man. I prefer, some lady voices, man. I didn't mind Kirk Franklin because Kirk Franklin had that bass line, bro.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I'll give Kirk the overall, body of work. But if you had to, if I had to choose one gospel album that I had to have that I could listen to, it would be Fred Hammond, Pages of Life.
Pages of Life, bro. That's
chapters 1 and 2.
That's a whack. That's no creativity, man. For an album.
What do you mean, no creativity?
Pages of Life. All he could do was like pages 1 and 2. that was the name of the album.
Well, he had chapter 3 later on, and that was actually a pretty good album too.
You know what? I'm gonna give Fred a chance, man. I might go listen to some of his stuff, man. Y'all comment below, man. Who wins, Kirk or Fred, man? I think I think Kirk's just gonna go down in history as Fred Hammond. I don't even like his album came out this year and it's December. I ain't even know nothing about it. I ain't seen no artwork. I ain't seen no rollout. I ain't seen no tours. I ain't seen no.
Because Fred doesn't roll like that. You know what I'm saying? He's not for the press. He's not for the. He's just about intimate worship.
So then, how's he eating? Well, we don't. Well, let me stop.
Next.
That's why I prefer to Kirk. Cause at least Kirk was dancing, bro. You ever see Fred dance? You remember when he gets excited? Bro, that made me so uncomfortable to watch, bro. That made me. I'm like, Fred, I know you want to do a spin. I know you.
Stop.
I know you want to do what Kirk does, bro. Hey, just sit on a stool and sing to us, bro.
And that's exactly what Fred does.
Kirk,
he needs to do nothing more.
Put on a performance, bro.
I mean, hey, sometimes that's what you want. Sometimes you want,
bro.
Sometimes you want to be entertained. Sometimes you want, you know what I'm saying, the meat and potatoes. Like, you know what I'm saying? You want to be spiritually fed and enter into worship.
Fred is not feeding y'all. He's feeding me. Fred.
Stop. You need to stop.
Nah, Fred,
you need to stop.
I'm just saying, man. Fred, give us a bass line. Give the drummer some. Man, Kirk Franklin, bro.
Kirk Franklin, man. Yeah, all right.
Bro, you just got a bias because your mom sheltered you your whole life. But that's all, man.
You know what? I don't have to take this. I'm moving on to the next topic.
Man, she's the GOAT. And please explain to your mom what GOAT means. I don't want your mom to get it.
Greatest of all time, Mom, if you're listening.
There we
go. Anyway, my brother in the Lord. You know it's serious if you put the T on the end.
Oh, yeah, man.
Lord.
Hey, that's...
Hey, did you ever see...
what was that?
Did you ever see that it was a homosexual guy who had been delivered?
The guy, the light-skinned guy?
And yes.
Man, that guy, I don't even know why he has fans, bro.
Dude.
But I think he's still dealing with those demons, bro.
I do. I did not believe him for a second.
Nah, he's not delivered, bro.
Josh, I think, to be honest, like, not even joking, I think that was the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life.
A gay guy?
Did you see the video where the Reverend called him up? He was like, tell the people your testimony.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. Boy.
I'm not gay no more. I am delivered. Yo. I was like, why did your voice just get deep?
Like, bro,
I am delivered.
The demon was like, no, we're not leaving.
Yo, that's what it sounded like.
No, bro, come on, man. Deliverance is when the mannerisms are gone too, man. Even if the mannerisms haven't left yet, you despise them.
If you are listening to the podcast, and I will never say this again, but please stop listening to the podcast. Hit pause.
Oh, yeah, go hit pause, yeah.
Hit pause. Open up a new tab. Type in delivered and put a T on the end. Delivered. That's all you got to put in.
Preacher, man, his attendance went down the next Sunday.
The funniest thing I've ever seen in my life.
I'm never having testimony service at my church when I start.
Never. I need to hear your testimony before you get up in front of the congregation.
Man, no, I'm gonna be like Elevate. I'm gonna be like these white churches, bro. These not even white churches. Excuse me, I love white people. But as far as these contemporary churches, we're gonna send your testimony through email. I will have one of our campus pastors come up.
Yes.
And read your testimony to the people.
Yeah, exactly.
Edited version of your testimony.
Edited version. Put some fancy graphics and things in the background.
And then raise an offering.
Exactly.
That's what we go. Because you're going to mess up our offering giving your testimony.
Bruh.
How am I supposed to follow that up and get some money through this church you over here talking about delivered?
I would not carry a purse.
Purse carry.
Yo. I was like, who are you convincing? Are you trying to convince yourself that you're not?
Bro, he is not delivered, bro. His live streams be coming on Facebook, bro.
Man. Anyway, that was definitely a tangent. I'm sorry, people. That was my fault.
Good. You're good.
But
for those who listen about the comment right now, that's once again a satire. That's once again a satire.
Yes. Those who are struggling with those demons, that is a real thing. And
real thing, man. And if you still got those mannerisms, I don't think you've been fully delivered. Anyway.
What was I about to segue into? Let me see here. Oh, yeah. Okay. So, wanted to talk about the Ball family because they're back in the news.
Back in it. Mm-hmm.
So now, LeAngelo Ball, the middle brother who went over to China and shoplifted some Gucci shades or Louis Vuitton shades.
Yeah.
Something.
Mm-hmm.
So he came back to UCLA, him and the two other players that were involved.
Yeah.
And they were put on an indefinite suspension.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now, LeVar Ball.
The GOAT.
LeVar Ball was mad that they were on an indefinite suspension, didn't know when his son was going to actually start playing. So he pulled LeAngelo out of UCLA.
As he should.
Okay, so you're still rocking with LeVar because I'm starting to question it, Josh. I just don't know.
What is there to question when you have a business? LeVar Ball. Listen. Let's first off, let's separate, this notion of education, right? We put that to rest, people. Like if you want an education to be a doctor, please. You want to be educated to be a lawyer, please. But if you want to be an entrepreneur, what was 1 year or 2, 3 years of UCLA going to do for a millionaire already? Unless there was a specific field that he wanted to venture in. But my thing is, LeVar did it because you ain't playing my son. Word on the street was he wasn't starting anyway. So you got this 3-year gap in between your business being seen. What else you gonna do? Pull them out, send both younger sons overseas to play ball, and keep the business going.
So you think that's a good idea?
Bruh, am I not gonna play for UCLA, or am I gonna get some shine overseas somewhere and keep the business going?
So, okay, the question for me is, what is the end game? Because it seems like he's saying that LeAngelo, he's pulling him out. He's going to play overseas, and then he's going to enter the NBA draft. I think that LeVar is going to allow them to play overseas until Melo's able to come into the draft. Or, that's 2 or 3 years, right? So it is.
But my thing because right now they're talking about LeAngelo's about to get his own shoe now. I was wondering why they didn't put his face in under the marketing, but
why? Who wants a shoe from him?
But did you not hear Earl? Was it Earl? Who's the old coach for the Suns? Earl Watson?
Yeah.
Yo, that man's got a. Have you seen his interviews on TV?
What did he say?
His takes. Oh man, this guy had Colin stumbling, had Jason Whitlock stumbling, because he was saying stuff in regards to LeVar Ball has a business to run, right? And he was talking about how, like, let's not get it twisted. He was like, UCLA and Under Armour was over there to get some business recognition. So it wasn't like this was just something for the kids or whatever. So what he was saying was that he respects what LeVar Ball's doing, because at the end of the day, he's at the bottom of the totem pole. So you got to be crazy in order to be successful financially in a business or having that relevancy. So if your oldest son is just now, or we don't even know when he's going to birth into that all-star player, you mean to tell me it's not going to be good for business for LeVar if they're not talked about? Like, he doesn't have no marketing firm helping him. Like his show on Facebook, that's some pretty dope stuff, man. And I think a lot of people want LeVar to lose, because if LeVar actually breaks the mold, then these power structures no longer have power over the minds of people. So people kept saying education. You pulling your son out from an education. He was like, you're pulling out a millionaire from an education? Like, the worst that can happen for LiAngelo Ball is to run the Ball estate. That's the worst that can happen.
That's true.
So
which is probably what he will do.
Exactly.
He's not going to play in the NBA.
And even if he doesn't, he still gets to play overseas and at least have a leverage, hopefully. And they was talking about how overseas players are a little bit more prepared for the league than people who are homegrown here in the United States.
Yeah.
Because they playing ball, they actually were pro at 14, 15 years old.
Playing against grown men. So I think this will be good for both of them in that arena to really grow, play together, still have that buzz, still build the company, the family brand, and then have leverage going in. Hopefully, even if they don't draft him, he could be like a walk-on for the Lakers. Are they really going to be keeping the family brand going strong over there, though? Like, are they not going to get forgotten about?
Nah, not with that Facebook show they have. Oh, Eric Watson said this, that in the UCLA, they said UCLA has this history of pro athletes coming back to UCLA to play some pickup, right? Talking about how, the UCLA players were there playing. There was like Chris Paul there, Paul George, James Harden, and there was about 25 pro players there. They said towards the end of it, let the kids in. And they said that all the kids went to LiAngelo first above Chris Paul, James Harden, above Paul George. They said because what we don't understand is that when we were 14 and 15, there were certain artists and athletes that represented us. They were more grassroots. That's what the word term they use. That they have a celebrity that we don't know about. Like, we're not on Musical.ly. We're not on Snapchat like that. Like, there's this buzz, this big old bubble up under us that 14 to 22 that they said LeVar and the Ball brand will maximize on the consumer of tomorrow. Like, right now, they got millions of kids who, parents buy everything for them, but in the next 3 to 4 to 5 years, they're going to be the next wave of consumers. And so either way, you got to keep that fan base supporting you. Come on, man. Have you ever heard a kid hating on the Ball family?
Nah, they love them.
Teenagers? Okay, what do you want? A bunch of complaining, entitled adults fan base, or a rabid kid fan base that's with you forever? There are certain Chris Brown fans right now that were fans with him when they was teenage years, still fans of him at 30. There's something about having that teeny bopper age group, early 20 age group, supporting the heck out of you. So that that's what I'm saying, they're going to always win, because their celebrities are not, unfortunately, it's not LeBron, Chris Paul. It's not them anymore. It's not.
That's true.
It's not them. Like, they were our ball players. They were our favorite athlete. But now their favorite athlete is Lonzo Ball, because Lonzo represents where they came from. And especially LaMelo. Like, LaMelo's set forever.
He's a rock star.
He's a rock star, bro.
And I think that's the main thing that I was like concerned about. Not so much LiAngelo, but LaMelo is he's a rock star. So my concern is, I feel like if he was in the States, 2 more years of high school, YouTube clips going viral, IG, Snapchat, all that, like he was gonna be huge. I feel like going overseas, I just don't know if he's gonna get like forgotten about.
He's not. He's not because you know what's gonna be dope. You know what's dope? Revolutionizing something, pioneering something, right? Like when Jordan came out with the first new wave of shoes, right? Those things are still trending now. I think what LaMelo's doing, and this is what makes LeVar such a genius to me, man. He's actually brave enough to challenge the status quo. To the first the first is always going to be the first. The first is always going to be the first. So LaMelo is the first high school athlete with his own shoe. So
well, he's not a high school athlete anymore because he signed with an agent. So he is no longer an amateur.
So exactly. But the thing is, that's genius because if he goes overseas, balls up against, now we know overseas competition may not be NBA competition, but it's definitely better than collegiate competition.
It is. That's true.
So if LaMelo and LiAngelo are playing against grown men, you mean to tell me they won't be NBA ready in 2 years? We know LaMelo will, but LiAngelo, we don't like. And people kept saying, well, there's a difference between having a Mike Krzyzewski and playing overseas. But if you remove the comforts of the United States and put them overseas, and that's what I respect about the fathering of LeVar, is that I'm not saying it's perfect fathering, but what I'm saying is it's better than what I had growing up. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
Send your sons overseas. This is a family business. They all got the last name Ball, which is genius in of itself.
Right.
You build a brand in China like everybody else is trying to. Why is Under Armour UCLA playing Georgia Tech in China?
Trying to build that the brand over there.
People get mad at LeVar trying to build a brand in China too when you're at the bottom. And so I think what LeVar is doing is saying, hey, y'all system is already whack. It's old. It's a bad product. Come on, NCAA is a bad product.
Yeah, that's a terrible system.
It's a terrible system. Y'all
terrible system.
It's kids sacrificing their life with an old system called education. When you get a free, what is that going to do when your trade is basketball, your trade is sports? Like what is the education going to do when there's a lot of people who got 1 year, 2 years. Don't get me wrong, education is great, but come on,
1 year of it's not going to help you.
1 year ain't going to help. But my goodness, Google, Barnes and Noble, these same books, I bet you if you go to the schools right now, you can get a free education right now. Go on to a school website. I don't know if this is true or not. Find out what books are in that class. Purchase those books yourself. Take those books home and teach yourself. So what you tell me, I got to sit up under a teacher who's going to give me their perspective. Probably don't really have the same passion. Probably tired of us. No. Like college is overrated with everything under being a doctor, lawyer, or anything that you need at that degree to excel. If you're an entrepreneur, like the Ball family is trying to be, did you see the estate LeVar got?
I think there might be, it would be years and years down the line, but slowly but surely, I think there's going to be a little bit of a shift because the new generation, like, you don't necessarily need college. Like, with today's, with YouTube and the social media outlets, like, these kids are making money with podcasts and shows that, you can put on YouTube and, Snapchats and advertising for companies through Snapchat and Instagram and things like that. Like, you really don't need like college unless you're, like you said, if you're going to be a doctor, lawyer, things like that, got it. But man, if you just want to educate yourself on technology and entrepreneurship and marketing and how to make money, that information is online.
That information
you can
everywhere.
Start your own business through social media or whatever you want to do and make money.
And that's why I'm telling people is like I don't care how good-hearted your parents are, you better find your purpose for yourself, because they're not going to be the ones helping you pay that debt for some of them. They want you to go and get this education, but what is an education? Well, I'm looking for fulfillment, and I'm going to educate myself in the path of what's going to make me fulfilled. That's going to be who I am supposed to be. And I think if people understand that, because people were smashing LeVar like, oh, he's going overboard. He's pulling his son out of 1 year of education, and these athletes don't go to class to learn.
No.
They don't go, like, y'all acting like these are some students. They know they're going to be millionaires in the next 10 months.
And that's not even, like, we were at Oral Roberts University. We was on 7th floor EMR with the athletes. They weren't even going to the NBA, and they ain't go to class.
They didn't care about class. So this agenda that's still in the climate of today of pressuring people to go to college, I was shocked that some of these analysts were beating on LeVar like you know, holding on to this antiquated philosophy that is about to die off.
Right.
Like I'm like, LeVar is smart, and they hate it. The reason why they don't like LeVar, because he's brave enough and he actually got the opportunity to do whatever the heck he wants to do. He already got one kid on the Lakers.
Right.
So if he can get Lonzo on the Lakers with a shot like his and whatever, what is he going to do with LiAngelo? Because there's nothing no one else can do for you more than a loving father or a loving mother would. LeVar may not be saying it the correct way, but he's doing it the correct way. And I think giving freedom to your sons in an America that's trying to strip freedoms away, kudos to that man, bro. And that's why I'm like, I would have pulled him out too. Because at the end of the day, people may say, well, shouldn't he allow his son to go through that kind of punishment? We don't know what LeVar did to LiAngelo at the house. You want him to show the whooping too? You want him to show the punishment too?
And that's the only thing that I did have. Like, I was like, okay, at some point you do have to let them, take the punishment for their actions. But having watched their reality show, I have no doubt that behind closed doors,
he got cussed out.
Yeah, right. he caved that chest in a couple of times.
He probably gave the Ferrari away. We don't know. At the end of the day, being stripped away from UCLA probably did hurt him,
Right.
But at the end of the day, a good father forgives and repositions. That's what the Heavenly Father does to us. That's what he did it for us through Christ, man. Yes, there was fault in us. He forgave us and repositioned us. And I think that's what he did with LiAngelo. Is like, look, man, UCLA ain't going to play you this year. You're part of the family business. We don't know what percentage LiAngelo gets. We don't know what state in the business he gets, right? And so he was like, you know what you did disappoint us, but let's put that behind us and let's move forward and let's go overseas with LaMelo, because that's what I was going to do with LaMelo anyway. Now let's take you with him. And y'all go shut China down. Y'all go shut Japan down. Wherever y'all play, y'all go shut it down. Give us 3 years. United States still going to suck y'all in, because they're going to still talk about me and Lonzo.
Right.
But I'll make buzz over there and get that fan base rabid. You saw what China did to Stoudemire.
Right. And Marbury. He's like
Stephon, my bad. Marbury, yeah.
Yeah, he's like a god over there. He's got a statue over there.
Exactly. And when you're at the bottom, nobody has any percentages within you, that means you getting everything in the pot. And ESPN and Fox FS1 is still gonna talk about you. That's free marketing. Like, that alone makes LeVar a genius. He needs to teach at Harvard or whatever business school. He needs to teach marketing.
That's true. That's really true, because he's a marketing genius.
He got LeBron to bite back.
He got President Trump.
He got President Trump to bite back, man. Like who? I can't do that. And his son jumper is still not good. It ain't like the product. It ain't like he got Jordan as a son.
No, far from it.
Far from it. But you know what he did? He I don't know if he studied under the Kardashian family, Yo, have you seen the Facebook shows?
Yeah, and it's actually produced by the same production company that does the Kardashian show. Actually,
it's amazing.
Yeah, it's good.
Just how I mean, what he's doing with his wife, like, bruh, LeVar, he's not perfect,
right?
But he's doing a magnificent job with his sons, and I'm sure he punished his sons, but he know good and well UCLA. And honestly, I don't even think LiAngelo did it. Earl Watson made a good point, man. He was talking about how sometimes you know, there's a street code. Well,
right.
you know, we all go down. Because you still in sunglasses, the biggest name always goes the furthest down. I don't even know the other two kids' names.
No, I don't.
So he probably, and those two kids are not in the Ball family. They probably wasn't raised with certain principles. Probably took some glasses. He was with them. They all got caught. He was the bigger name, and he went down with the ship.
I never thought about that, but that could have some truth to it.
I think so. I just can't imagine someone driving a Ferrari who has the money to buy the shades,
right?
Steals the shades, but the other kids might. They don't got a Ferrari.
That's true. I never thought of that.
They don't have money like that. Their dad is not on the trip with them, giving them got a Louis Vuitton bag. So do we really believe? I don't believe LiAngelo stole it, because you got to be some type of stupid to steal. But at the same time, that's why I don't think LeVar made it into a big deal, because I think LeVar knows more than we know.
Right.
Look his own son in the eye like, did you steal them glasses? Nah, man. And they know the politics around the Ball name. You got to play it smart, play it cool, you know?
Hey, that could be very true. I never thought about that, but that could very much be true. And that could be why he pulled him out. He's like, look, you really ain't even do it. I'm not going to put the other dudes on blast.
And y'all know he didn't do it, but y'all want to do it because y'all didn't want to mess. Y'all don't want to mess with UCLA name, and you didn't want my Ball name to get any credibility. So of course you're going to suffocate the Ball. Let's put him on the bench. Let's show the media that we punish our kids, because UCLA is not LSU. It's not, you know, it's a prestigious brand. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's like the NFL, brand over players. And so LeVar was like, "Oh, word, son, let's get out of here." They ain't because LeVar is one of those type of men, and if you don't respect me, I don't respect you.
I want him to win so bad, because like it's just like it's unheard of, like, you know what I'm saying, especially with us as African Americans. Like we don't get to call shots like that. Like we don't get to say, "Hey, I don't like how you're dealing with me. I'm gonna go make my own route." Like we don't do that. Like
because we trust anything white.
Yeah.
White has become, no offense to any white people out there, I'm not trying to make this a black or white thing, but our culture makes it seem like if it's white, it's right. But at the same time, black has to do it in excellence. We talk about black excellence all the time, but our blackness is not done in excellence, right? So we're not going to set ourselves free until we own some. That's why I own all my stuff. I do what I got to do, not because I'm trying to fight the man. I got nothing but love for white people. That's why people get talking about, like, how do you feel about? I'm like, some of the nicest people I've ever experienced were white. Like when my mom dropped me off at Cramerton Christian Academy, did I go through some racism? Yes. But the Barker family, the Reed family took me in when my mom couldn't take me home for basketball practice. I spent the night at their houses. From them, I knew what bacon was. I knew what pasta sauce was.
Stop.
I thought ketchup sauce. I thought pasta sauce was ketchup. I thought Heinz was a pasta sauce. Yes. You know, when I ate real bacon, not the bacon that's so thin, we talking about the bacon with the fat still on it.
Got that.
So I don't have this viewpoint of, even in the black Christian circles or the white evangelicals, like that's stop crying wolf, man. Stop being pansies, man. Like you're free in Christ, my dude.
Right.
Like you free. Like don't make it into this black and white thing. It's not about white supremacy. It's satanic supremacy. Like if we fighting against flesh and blood, we already lost.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I say, man, I hope LeVar wins. Because anybody who pioneers and sets the rest, because the first who leaves gets shot up the most. But if the path is laid, he sets a lot of people free. And I think his sons, you know, they might be some wild boys with the girls, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. They might just be young men, but at the end of the day, I'm sure every one of us wish we had a father that said that you could be greater than Michael Jordan.
That's true. That is very true. No, it's great what he's doing for his sons. And like I said, and we've talked about it, but stressing ownership and, you know, not just, sometimes we do get caught up in that, like just trying to, I know I do. Just try to take the safer route, you know, the guaranteed, you know, income and the benefits and everything like that.
It ain't going to happen, man, because at the end of the day, people going to have to sleep with that resentment in their heart. They're going to have to sleep with that regret. Like, that's why I say no regrets. I'd rather go out there and try and not make it and say, you know what, maybe that wasn't for me versus was that for me?
Right.
Could that have been for me? And a lot of people right now listening have been sitting on their, like, it's one thing if you're sitting on an egg. At least your sitting on it brings it life.
Right.
But that's the only time sitting on anything brings it life. And so many people are sitting on God-given dreams, and Jesus and God is trying to tell us you're more than able. You're more than capable. That's why he's getting talked about so much in a negative way, because they don't want to see it happen. Because it's so unsafe. What if he is right? And I got to take back all my statements. That's why I like Lonzo. I want Lonzo to win. I know he'll win because he got the bite in him.
Right.
He may not show it on the court, but he got a father that bites and barks for him. It's easy for a son to bite what's in front of him if they got a loud bark behind them. And if you got support like that barking for you, supporting you,
right,
you can bite through anything. And that's why I'm like, guys, get up off of that idea. Own it. Listen, God and Google. You hear me say this all the time. Go to God, find out what you're supposed to do. Go to Google. So many people stop at God, but never follow through to Google to find out how to do what he told you to do.
Absolutely. That's important.
All the blueprints are online. That's why I'm like, if you playing it safe, gets you some things. Risking it all can get you more. Because if you bet on you and you make it, whatever you make will be better than what you settle for. That's outside of your lane. So, big props to LeVar. I want to see him win. I just hope they don't kill him. Hope they don't.
You said what?
Hope they don't take him out.
I know, right?
Because he's doing some things right now that can set a lot of athletes free and inspire a lot of people to take risk and go after the big dogs like Nike. Like, you gotta have some kind of balls, no pun intended, to go after Nike, Under Armour, Adidas, and say you got how many millions in your marketing budget? Guess what we use for our marketing budget? Nothing.
Right.
So education's overrated, man, when you already rich.
Well said. All right. Now we're going to move on to the segment that's sweeping the nation.
Sweeping the planet.
One gotta go.
Oh, man. All right. Let's get right into it.
So today, on One Gotta Go, we've got 90s sitcoms.
Some of y'all don't even know nothing about this. The only time you watch this was on Hulu. But
exactly.
we waited week by week to get the new episodes.
These sitcoms were not something that you could DVR. These sitcoms, you had to wait all week and watch at a designated time on your television. If you missed that time, there was no rewind. There was no recording the episode. You missed it. You may never see it again until it gets syndicated.
Yep.
So, these are some very important sitcoms for a very important period of time in our lives. And one of them, Josh, has got to go.
All right, man, let's go for it.
All right. Fresh Prince.
Oh, that's gotta stay, bruh.
Martin.
All right.
Family Matters.
Okay.
And The Cosby Show.
The one, honestly, bro, honestly, after thinking about this for a couple of hours, honestly, bro, what has to go is Martin. Martin got to go, man.
You're gonna have to explain that one.
Yeah, honestly, man, you know, I don't know, man. Like because I still got the Jamie Foxx show.
Oh,
I still, you see what I'm saying? If I get rid of Martin, I still got Jamie Foxx. That's basically the same formula.
And I didn't include that one because I guess culturally, as far as relevance, I don't think Jamie Foxx the show ever reached those levels. But for me, I think I liked the Jamie Foxx show better than.
I think Jamie Foxx was better than Martin, bro. That's why Martin got to go. Like it was between Martin and Family Matters. And okay, if you watch Family Matters over, like the only two shows that are timeless and are still funny today is the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and the Cosby Show. You can watch any episode and still be like, that's funny.
That's true. That's something that I haven't really thought about.
Yeah, Family Matters didn't age well.
It did not age well.
If you watch Family Matters right now,
it's not going to be funny.
It's not going to be funny
at all. Watch
Martin now, it's
still funny. It is still funny.
It's funny, but it's like, honestly, if okay, because every time I do this, I always change my pick like 5 times. so Family Matters just off corniness has to go. Martin off the vulgarness of it, you know, Martin was funny, but it's still, you know, it was just kind of it made you uncomfortable in certain things, man. But not in a bad way. It was just like, could I really watch this over and over again? But Martin's fan base, you got to be a certain type of fan for Martin. Like some people will argue Martin down, but Martin wasn't that funny to me. As Jamie Foxx was funny. Like, if you compare the two, the Jamie Foxx show, to me, I'm talking about growing up, me watching these shows as a kid.
Right.
Jamie Foxx was funnier than Martin to me. Because Jamie's humor is better to me than Martin's humor.
Right. I got
Martin in movies is hysterical.
Right.
Martin in his own show, I think it was, who was the girl, the crazy girl? It wasn't Pam. Was it Pam? No, not Pam. Martin's characters were disturbing to me. Like if they would have polished his character a little bit more, like Eddie Murphy did in Big Mama's House.
I don't know if I even
was it Eddie Murphy? No. Coming to America. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Like Eddie Murphy's, like his characters wasn't ratchet like that. It was like growing up in my era, I was like, man, who lives like that? You know what I'm saying?
That's real for some people.
No, it is real. I'm talking about, but the Martin's characters and Martin made it uncomfortable for me because it was just like Shanae was just, bro. You know what you got from Shanae, bro.
Right.
But I think for me, Martin and Family Matters has to go. Replace Martin with Jamie Foxx, and I'll keep those 3: Fresh Prince, Jamie Foxx show, and the Cosby Show.
I'm totally confused. All right, which one had to go? Is Martin the one that you went with?
Family Matters just off the corniness has to go.
Wow.
I'll switch Martin with Jamie Foxx show and keep them. I don't even want Martin. So
I was about to say you only have to get rid of one. So
Urkel, bro. But come on, Urkel growing. I can't get rid of Family Matters though. Because of the Urkel element. I connected to Urkel, bro.
You said you did?
I did, yeah, man. I was a nerd growing up.
No, that was my main point. Like, Family Matters has to stay. Like,
I was drowned by how unattractive Laura was.
Yo.
I was like,
this has to be discussed.
Ladies, listen, this don't got nothing to do with no dark skin. I'm not saying dark skin.
It doesn't. It does not.
Laura wasn't all of it. It didn't deserve all of Urkel's effort, is what I'm trying to say.
Not when he had Myra.
Yeah, Myra was killed. I'm like, I think that's what they wanted us to think, bruh. I'm like, bruh, Myra is ride or die, bruh. Laura didn't get with you until the last episode or something like that. And she wanted your alter ego, Stefan, bruh. Nah. Right. I believe in a woman wanting you for you, bruh.
Laura wasn't loyal? She wasn't loyal.
Laura
Anytime
wasn't loyal, and she
anytime
wasn't gonna
Stefan
try.
came around, she was all over him. Wasn't
Yeah,
thinking about Steve.
Martin got to go because Urkel, man, bruh. The man was smart, creating like that darn machine thing, bruh. And she only wants you for Stefan, bruh. And Myra was killing the game back then, bruh.
Man, rest in peace.
Oh, she did die, didn't she?
Yeah, she did. That was
They
unfortunate.
like sacrifice, something like that.
I don't know what happened, but
It was kind of weird how she died, though.
yeah,
I can't remember. It was something like weird. Like
I don't remember. I have to look that one up. But
yeah, Martin got to go, bruh.
Martin got to go.
Yeah, man, Shanae alone, bruh. And what's the man from the Fifth Floor?
Man, why can't I think of his name?
Jermaine
Cole,
yeah. No, I forgot. Whoever he was from the Fifth Floor. Y'all put in the comments box.
Yeah.
Who's got to go, B?
So we talked about Family Matters, which cannot go because for me, growing up, I was a nerd, and so I completely identified with Steve Urkel. I looked up to Steve Urkel.
I see.
I said, if he can pull Laura and Myra,
what
hope for me?
Yeah.
And so it was a wholesome show. I enjoyed it. TGIF, shout out to TGIF. Back in the day, I used to get so excited.
Man, like these kids missed out, bro. TGIF was everything, bro.
TGIF couldn't exist in today's technology because, again, you have DVR. You can watch stuff whenever you want. At that time, you had to watch the shows at the time that it came on. So TGIF, like, you were in front of the TV.
Yeah, you was. I mean, even the dinosaurs was funny.
Step by Step. And you had Family Matters.
And dinosaurs, bro.
Yeah.
Hit the Mama or something like that.
I'm the baby. Gotta love me.
Man.
Boy, you took it back on that one.
Yeah, bro.
But anyway, so
which one got
Family Matters has to stay. Fresh Prince was like the opposite. It was like everything that I ever wanted to be, tall, cool.
He was Carlton.
I was Carlton every step of the way. And I wanted to be Will Smith.
It's so unusual.
So unusual to be loved by anyone.
Man,
right.
Whoever, okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
But yeah, I love the Fresh Prince for that. I resonated with Carlton, but I wanted to be Will so bad, and I studied his every move and tried to use it in my everyday life and failed miserably.
Just a wife and 4 kids.
So, Fresh Prince has got to stay.
Fresh Prince.
What else? What did I say? The
show.
Oh, the Cosby Show or Martin.
Huh? Ooh, I forgot.
Full disclosure, I was not able to watch Martin growing up. For the record,
I wasn't either.
At all.
Even when I did watch Martin, it was so uncomfortable for me because I didn't have that years of watching it. So it didn't have the same effect on me like the other shows I was allowed to watch, the other 3.
It was I had to watch it, in my later years, and it was interesting because so many of the popular phrases and things that people were using, like in school, like I realized where they were coming from. A lot of that stuff came from Martin. And I was like, oh, that's why they would be like, what?
Yeah, man. And it was just like, I was just looking at them like lost. Like, what are you saying?
Exactly. I had no idea what anyone was talking about. But Martin is funny.
It's funny in spots. It's funny in spots. Overall, as in enjoying the whole episode, I don't know.
I enjoyed it. I think the Cosby Show.
Bruh, don't even, bruh. I'm getting off this thing, man. I'm getting off this phone, bruh.
The Cosby Show was important. It was very important because that was the show that
you had a good
showed us as African Americans.
That's why the show can go. You had a good family, bruh.
You say what?
You had both parents in the home. Of course, you didn't need the Cosby Show.
Maybe that's it.
You didn't need it. You was like,
need the Cosby Show.
Definitely my dad and mom. This is what I already have. Oh God.
I mean, I had the Fresh Prince anyway. I mean, So they, they were successful mother and father in the household. And I already had my mother and father. So, I mean, I didn't need two shows like that.
I needed the Cosby Show. I needed it. All of my life lessons growing up was not given to me by a pastor. That's who it was. And I don't even believe. Let me stop there, man.
Yeah, I think for me, the Cosby Show's got to go because I didn't really need that aspect, and I mean, it wasn't really funny.
It wasn't funny, bro, but it was just makes you feel warm. It allowed me to go to bed at night knowing that's
that's somewhere.
Somewhere, somebody's being fathered.
Huxtable as a great father,
but
with an ugly sweater.
I don't stop. No, but for real, everybody used to pick on me and call me Theo. I got stopped in the airport one time coming from ORU because someone thought I was Theo Huxtable.
Oh wow!
I think that's why I had a connection to Cosby Show because I had some little celebrity to me.
Okay.
Growing up, I was like, man, okay, if Theo can make it, I can make it. But anyway.
All right. So for you, Martin gotta go. For me, the Cosby Show's gotta go.
That's so backwards, bro. That is so off, bro. This young man who grew up in a good home gets rid of the Cosby Show. Sounds like he used to date one. Oh, that's the end of the podcast, bitch.
Oh, shit. I need to relocate.
You gotta relocate. They found you, bro. No, I'll let you relocate, man.
All right. I'm relocating.
While Brandon's relocating, this podcast has been sponsored by Unplug. Unplug means everything. I'm joking.
All right.
You in the bathroom now, bro?
Yeah.
The man's only safe haven when married is the bathroom.
Nah, I had gone in the bedroom because it was cold in the basement.
No, gotcha.
But yeah, then she brought the kids upstairs to give them baths, and I already know the carnage that will ensue.
Yeah, I feel you, bro.
So yeah, I'm down in the basement now. But anyway, we're about done with the podcast.
I think that's it, man. Oh,
you have your weekly motivational moment for the people.
Listen, I got something for y'all. I might do another video to elaborate on it later, but man, you gotta let that dream die. That dream that you've been believing in that has no evidence of it being gifted to you by God, that dream that maybe your mom or dad gave you, that dream that you always thought would be a reality for you, let that dream die. My dream died at 19 years old for the NBA when I realized I wasn't going to make it. That dream had to die.
That was the day that I dunked on you. Continue.
It wasn't the day that you dunked on me. This is my moment. All of that footage has been erased, dislocated, relocated somewhere that we won't have no access to.
Mm-hmm.
But ladies and gentlemen, you got to let that dream die, man, because if you don't let that dream die, God's dream for you won't live. Some of you guys right now are engaging in certain fields or careers that you don't feel fulfilled. You don't feel no purpose in, and you're just only doing it because the money's good. You're only doing it because it feels good. But man, if that dream is not causing you to be dependent on God, that dream it wasn't delivered to you by God, you gotta let that dream die. Because the quicker you let that dream die, the quicker the dream that God is giving you can live. Some of you guys, the reason why your God-given dream is dying because you're not executing. I need you to give that dream that God has given to you life. And the best way to give a dream life is through discipline. If you do nothing, your dreams will stay dreams. But if you do something, your dream can become a reality. Make sure that the dream that you're trying to produce is a dream given to you by God. Any other dream is a dream that's going to destroy you and make you empty on the inside. That's it, B.
That's it. That's what it was. That's what it is. That's what it will be. Wisdom from Joshua Ezzy on the Good Guys podcast. That's all we got for today.
Y'all comment below, man. We would love to hear what y'all think about the podcast. Comment, man. Talk to us. If you listen on SoundCloud, comment.
Hop in the comments.
It's on the YouTube. If you can't comment nowhere else, just jump on the YouTube chat. We're going to chat with you guys and get down in there and answer your questions. And also, we got a new segment, right, B?
Yes. Yes. If you have any questions, go ahead, Jay.
No, you do it, man.
If you have any questions that you want us to discuss or talk about or address, drop it in the comments. We will choose one and we will discuss it on the next episode of the Good Guys podcast. So
we'll say your name and everything if you want.
Absolutely. We'll give you a shout out. We will talk about whatever it is that you want us to talk about. So get in the comments, y'all. We're going to get in the comments with y'all. We're going to conversate and jump in there with y'all and let us know what you want to hear us talk about, what questions you have for Coach Josh, or I know nobody cares about me, but I'll talk about it too.
y'all care about BD. Y'all care about it.
All right, but anyway, that's all we got today for the podcast. We thank y'all for listening. We really appreciate y'all for tuning into the podcast. We're going to be consistent and keep coming with it. This is week 3 in a row, and we're going to go for 4 next week. I got nothing else. My name is Brandon Dixon. For Joshua Ezzy, we are the Good Guys Podcast. And we're
Peace.
Out.